Under. Thank you and welcome to The Factor Uncensored for joining us tonight. First up, two death investigations underway. The first in Atlanta. According to USACrime.com, a woman named Maya died during a night out with friends. Now, officials report it is not available just yet, but the website says a victim was twerking in front of a vehicle her friends were inside of. Someone behind the vehicle or the wheel then drove over her, killing her, dragging her body under the vehicle and leaving her body behind in the middle of the road. And in Missouri, another case, an 18-year-old named Nyla Simmons also killed. Investigators say Simmons was dancing on top of an SUV when she fell off of the vehicle, followed by a fire truck running over her and killing her just seconds later. People have been talking about both of those reports on social media, along with this video. It was reportedly filmed in a Lululemon store, featuring alleged strippers shaking and twerking in the store. This has been heavily criticized. Lululemon's CEO has previously said the brand isn't for certain customers, which many have assumed that was code for excluding black people. Do some people struggle with a craving for public attention to the point it puts their lives at risk or even their digital footprint at risk and, of course, in some cases, self-respect? Joining us to talk about it there.
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, all right, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation for the hopeful elect out there, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, as you can see, all right, when it comes to behavior, of our people, and just putting emphasis, on the nigger woman, all right, as, we always get into the YNs, the young niggas, all right, but you have the young nigger woman, okay, which is absolutely off the chain, man, and it's to the point to where women are becoming extinct amongst the tribes, the essence of a woman, all right, what a woman is, the feminine nature, the motherly, a homemaker, okay, that gentle, that nourisher, that complements the men's, masculinity. Well, that's becoming a thing of naught, to the point that it doesn't exist, man. All right, amongst our people, especially amongst the Southern Kingdom, man. All right, and it's only getting worse. And this is why this is the generation in which the Lord will hit the reset button through judgment. There's no doubt about it. Okay, there's absolutely no doubt about it, man. All right, and you seen that first incident, with a chick, she was twerking in front of the car, and they just ran her over. There shouldn't be any investigation on it. All right, she was, they going back to this, just twerking everywhere. That ratchet spirit, the Lord is speaking out against that shit, man. That ratchet, raunchy behavior that the nigga woman loves, and that loud ass clapping and all that shit in public, man. The Lord is getting fed up with that shit, man. And the Lord is causing judgment, man. All right, but that was a horrible death, man, to get ran over and drugged under the car. Okay, then you say she was left for dead, so no telling how long she just sat there and suffered. All right, until the Lord took her spirit, man. And the Lord could have made that seem like forever, man. You see, the Lord is finna show himself to be a terrible power in the earth, man. You see, all the playing and dancing finna stop. Okay? And then you had the second one, the chick that fell out of the car twerking, got hit by a fire truck, which we went over that. And then you have this, bunch of strippers, in the store, dancing or whatever. And it's just, it's off the chain, man. It's too much. It's a goddamn embarrassment, man. It's just a goddamn embarrassment, man. You see? But this is what the beast has created, man. The nigga woman, is worse than the beast out here, man. You know, the nigga woman is like a wild animal that's off the chain, man, that's empowered by this beast system, you know? But the Lord finna intervene and start judging in a massive way. Okay? Now let's go here. Let's get precept, and then I got something else to go into. This is Jeremiah 2:21. It said, "Yet I planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me," man? All right, and we're watching our people just constantly degenerate, and we was in that cycle of degeneration, you know. But the Lord pulled us out of darkness into this marvelous light. But we was in that, man, you know, and we're constantly telling our people, look, that's not the way. That's death. Okay, that's death, man. What are you doing? All right, nothing that our people do makes sense, men or women. Okay, nothing that they do makes sense, man. Okay. And our people are constantly in this cycle of degenerating, and each generation gets worse and worse. They degenerate further and further from any type of morals, any type of structure, any type of standards, any type of manners. Okay, and you go into this word degenerate. All right, it was how bring this up often. This degenerate. All right, in the Edom it says having lost or suffered impairment of qualities proper to the race or kind, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race of kind, man. And here it is, the Lord made us what? To be, let's go here. Matter of fact, let me finish this. And it says, to be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality, used of physical as well as moral qualities. Okay, so each generation falls further and further away, all right, from being an Israelite, man, to a complete degenerate, man. You know, just a complete beast, man. All right, and there's not many women left, man. Okay, you look out of society, there is not, amongst the tribes, there are not many women left. In the essence, there's female, there's creatures that have female sexual organs, but what a woman, the skill set of a woman, the essence of a woman, that's a rare thing amongst our people, man. You know, this is what's being produced, man. This is the only thing that this generation is producing, man, and it's getting worse. Okay, so there's no doubt that this is the generation, and the Lord is going to intervene and hit the reset through judgment, man, through this third world's war and through the return of Yahweh Shai himself, man. Okay, when the scriptures say that the elements shall melt with fervent heat and all the works thereof, well, that's part of the works, man. What the nigga woman has become, okay, in America, that's part of the works that's going to be burnt up in this nuclear fire, man. You know, off the goddamn chain, man. And these are the beasts that raise these YNs, man. Okay? Esau is the source of all the problems, all right, on the planet Earth. And the nigga woman is right there, his sidekick, man. When it comes to keeping Jake, you know, keeping Jake in the degenerate state, man. Okay? Now, let's go here. Because what does the Lord say about us as a people, man? Deuteronomy 7. All right, and 6, it says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai thy power. The Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth," man. And we were chosen to be above people, man. And see, this is what we're coming back to, man. You know, as we come back to who we are, you know, in righteousness, man, we're becoming those above people again. You know, a people of culture, a people of standard, okay, of rich culture, man. Okay, a people of standard, man, a people of etiquette, all right, people of class, structure. You know, this is what we're coming back to, all right, and our people are just getting worse and worse. Let's go here. I got this from the brother, this is the brother GMS North Carolina, all right, 777, all right, the elder brother Hawad out there in North Carolina, you know, be putting up some heavy posts. So you go here, all right, it says black women have become the plants in the urban community to destroy their own communities, all right, and go against black men, you know, because they say that the number one weapon that Esau has above the nukes and lasers and the pestilence, is poison. All right, is the nigga woman, and the job she does in dismantling her own people, man, and glorifying it. Okay, they boast in abortion, they boast in breaking niggas, they boast, okay, in just the destruction of their own people. Okay, you see, the children they're raised, become monsters and terrorize, the community. You see, so the black woman, all right, the nigga woman, all right, the so-called black woman, okay, has been a major part of Esau's destruction of the tribes, man. Her playing this role is this degenerate, ratchet, Miss Independent. Her playing that role, all right, has done the equivalent to a nuclear bomb. Because what Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they killed hundreds of thousands, but how many millions, all right, has the nigga woman, all right, deleted in her womb? Okay, how many altercations has she, caused? You got Jake in prison and another Jake, dead. Okay, so the nigga woman being out of order, all right, is worse than a nuclear bomb. It's like a nuclear bomb that keeps going off, man. Over and over again. And the wind had to blow on that. You see, and this. And this is the standard, man. Okay, this is the standard. This is the standard, man. And none of these are women, according to the essence of a woman. They're females. They have the female sexual organ. All right, but what the embodiment of a woman? None of these are it. But this is the standard. Okay, this is the only thing you get out of the majority of our women. It's not all of them, but the majority of them. Some more than others, this is their standard. Lotto, Glorilla, Sexy Red, Ice Spice, the female rapper Mount Rushmore, man. Okay? And these are all agents set up for behavior modification, all right, of the nigga woman, man. Okay? I bet you all those women, those two women that were deleted, they know every song by these women. Okay, all those women in the mall, that they live by all the lyrics of these songs that these women rap about, man. You see? So you go here, keep going. All right, it says woman charged after allegedly beating 70-year-old grandmother with bricks. Bragged about it on social media, man. It's just a demon. Okay, demon, man. Okay, a complete demon, man. The nigga woman is an actual beast that's off the chain, but that's being empowered by this beast system, man. The nigga woman is a wild animal on the loose, man. Okay, literally a wild animal on the loose, man. Okay, so imagine what her children are going to be like. All right, she got 3-4. She got about 2-3 rockhead niggas. All right, and about 2. All right. Of many hers, all right, many me's of her, man. That's in the making, man. This the generation where the Lord is going to intervene and hit the reset button. Ain't no doubt about it, man. Okay? It said black girl, all right, defends killing black babies, claiming the black community is overpopulated, man. Okay? She that is my enemy, man. All right? She that is my enemy, man. There's no one. Esau and Eve have the most hatred, all right, for the tribes. No one has more hatred for the tribes than Esau and Eve, man. Okay, and the generation that Esau and Eve is raising, man. All right, because this generation is raised off enchantments and the nigga woman. Okay, listen to this madness. Woman was kicked out of a funeral after kissing deceased man's ride. Okay, woman was kicked out of the funeral after kissing deceased man's ride. Okay, so Jake is in the coffin. Okay, and then Eve kissed the rod at the funeral, man. Absolutely a beast, man. Don't care what they do, where they do it at, what they got on, what they have it on. That they don't care about nothing. You know, these are true beasts on the loose, man. You see, and they tell you what they worship, man. Okay, ride, clout, and the outfits. Okay, absolute. They are what they say they are, savages, man. The nigga woman is a savage, man. Okay, when you go back, um, let's go here, man. I ain't gonna make this too long. Let's just get this, man. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 9, and this is in the GNT. It said, "Listen, Israel, to the commands that promise life. Pay attention, and you become wise. Why is it, Israel, that you find yourself in an enemy land? Why have you grown old in a foreign country? You are ritually, all right. You are ritually unclean like the dead. You are already counted among the dead. But why? This generation is the walking dead. You know, this generation is the walking dead, man. 2/3 are the walking dead. That's why the Lord said, "He that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead," man. This generation is the walking dead, man, hands down. You know, so when you read on, it says, "You are already counted among the dead, but why?" Okay, you see, but why? It is because you have left the source of wisdom, man, and we all left the source, man. You know, but you have, brothers, and a few women, all right, a few sisters that have came back to the source, man. Okay, and we see the complete difference, man. You know, I know a lot of us, brothers, you few sisters, man. I know you always have a mindset like, damn, I should have been on this, man. You know, because this is like a breath of life, man. This way of living is a breath of life, man. It's a refreshment. You know, it's a refresher, man. You know, it's peaceful, it's tranquil, it's progress, man. It's working towards something, man. Okay? It says, if you had walked in the Most High's ways, you would have lived in peace forever. Learn where understanding, strength, and insight are to be found. Then you will know where to find a long and full life. Light to guide you in peace, man. You know, and our people have no God. You know, they're in darkness, okay? And it's only getting darker. You see, each generation gets darker and darker, man. All right? But the Lord has raised a remnant, okay, to be a light, all right, until the rest of the believers, all right? And the elect is being gathered by this word, and the Lord is finna come gather his elect and delete the rest, man. Okay? The elect have obtained, but the rest were blinded. All right, and the elect that have obtained is going to be delivered, and the rest is going to be destroyed, man. And they're going to have to come back in the kingdom through the loins, all right, of the righteous, man. You know, then they'll be good. Okay, but on this side, what we see now, man, hey, Eve is an animal, man. All right, nothing short of it, man. Okay, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters were edified once again. And give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.